Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello, this is Divine Sunshine, fresh from dealing with the kitties, and I say, well, let me come on. That's what I call my little playtime, and do a conversation with a divine masculine. I felt like a little divine masculine was tapping me on the shoulder, like, psst, I want to talk. I was like, okay, what about? And so I was like, okay, let me get the cards real quick before I return up from my office and go upstairs and fix myself something to eat and call it a day, because I've been kind of working like Rihanna. All right then, so let's see what is the conversation that we're going to have with this DM today.
Women with their own condominiums, 5+5s who drive millenniums. It's all about the Benjamins. What?
All right, I'm back. I was like, oh, I've always liked that when they cut in and they go in the thing so we can see. So let's see, what type of DM are we talking to today? I feel like it's these two right here. Okay. All right, who is this DM? Who is this masked man? This one is about wealth, abundance, and cornucopia and madness. First thing I figure, this person is about the Benjamins. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. So we got us a own Sean Puffy Combs here. We call him Puffy, Puff Daddy in the house. But there's a madness to it. Now, it's a price, what I'm picking up, there's a price that is paid for this wealth and this abundance here too as well. But I get the clearance for that one. Yeah, I got this pan out here. This pan. Differences. Growth in the physical dimension. Gaining of knowledge. Wow. Animalistic and abandonment. That's why I say this one here is like, wow, he might be like at the club, champagne popping, you know, this wilding out. Like I would say, this wilding out. You know, it's just all about that kind of lifestyle, about that. That's what really the flash and dash that got him pretty much into this, wherever he's in. This is what he's about. We got us a real playboy, a real Sean P. Diddy Combs. I think about him. He didn't marry. He didn't really believe too much in that. Still not. He just believed in just long-term relationships. He's called himself trying to do like Oprah and Stedman. But he was out there just kind of doing that. So what main thing that they're saying with this one is that he's saying, he like, that's enough on the wilding now. Well, he is, you wilding. I can see you. Just ain't true. But I can see you wild out. Animalistic. It's just like really about more so instinctual about this divine masculine, and less on him doing it because of spirit is leading him to do things. It's almost fair. So this is what spirit wants this person to start working on, getting him a conscious. At the end of the day, this is what he's got to do, is work on things consciously, because he thinks it's a method to his madness, but it's not. Competitive. This one is highly about what everybody else, what the Joneses has. This DM, what the Joneses have. So we could call him Sean P. Diddy here, whichever way it comes out with them. He's got a name here. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. I'm going to play that in the background on that one. Hope that it do get some play in the background. So I got to remember that, all about the Benjamins, baby. Where my pen at? A pen was here. I was right with a pen earlier today. Oh God, let me get this pencil there. Let me write this down right now. All about the Benjamins, baby. Now he's telling me, he said, I work hard. Now please don't put me down that it seems like I'm this person, Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. Says that Puff Daddy said that he said he really don't. He says like, you call him by his Combs, Mr. Combs. really is about the work. He's very serious about that. He said, let it be known, I'm very serious about my money. I'm very serious about how I obtain it. I'm very serious about how I get that. I might be all fun and popping crystal at the club and all that stuff, but when it comes to my money, I don't play. When it comes to my money, he said, I don't act funny. So get that really straight. If you get that, nothing else. But he's very highly competitive. He's competitive on the job. He really believes in trying to have a little bit more than everybody else. The Jones is what you got if he can, and if he's able to, he's going to find a way of his lifestyle to kind of outbeat that, outshine that, or he's saying, I'm going to be damn near close to whatever you bring it to the table. Trust and believe that, or I'm going to surpass you. Okay. Spirit again is like, okay, he's got this growth, but again, it's growth in the physical dimension. It's about this growth in this 3D. Okay, that's very important. The Spirit wants him to understand. It ain't about all that in the flash and dash, but it's like really trying to make this person be a person of substance. This is what Spirit wants this person to really come out at the end of the day. Want them to really understand that you've got to become as good. That's nice for everybody else on the outside and doing all that dancing and got the hype man all but happening behind you behind that. But that's not what this whole thing, especially you being divine, is all about. Okay? It's like, again, really understanding this abandonment. It's like he does things with wild abandonment. He doesn't think before he leaps. Really almost just throws it up to chance and say, hey, God got me, and then step on out there. This person kind of knows also, I feel like this breaking out. Also knows, they say that's ascension. Also knows that he's divine. He understands that he has been put into positions, he said, that I have been blessed in. Like other people, I don't know how they even got into it, but when I got into it, it's like I can tell I've been blessed. And sometimes that's why I take risks like that, because I figure, hey, God got me. Source got me. So I'm going to go out here, I'm going to take this risk. Okay? I can hear him loud and clear. He's like, I'm going to take this risk. Okay? So let me kind of get an eye to see what's happening in the eye of the storm and what's going on with you. We see that's what's actually going on. So let's let me read into your energy. We just take it one step at a time and see where it leads us. So this conversation with this DM here, interessante. Like, who puff daddy is this? Tiki boss, I don't like you calling me that. Okay, Mr. Combs or Mr. Sean, one of the two. Okay, because I am serious about my stuff. So right now, what's happening in his energy is all about a journey. I remember seeing something like this before, where it's talking about the path before everything and behind. So what I'm picking up with him is he's saying that I've learned that everything that it's been a journey, even the things that happened in his past, has led me up to where I am in the present, which is lead me on into where I'm going into the future. I understand, and when it comes to divinity, I'm channeling now, that is helping me to understand that, no matter what, my path was always lit. This is what he's saying. It's always been lit. It's always been lit. Some kind of way divinely, like I told you before I picked up on here, it's just like, here's a step, Spirit puts there, Spirit puts the next step, Spirit puts the next step. So it always leads him to where he needs to go when as far as his success, when it's in business, okay? Emotionally, I see this where she's got a hand like this. Some things emotionally has happened to him that he has to link into the past as well. But he's got some baggage, and his baggage that he's really trying to do as far as when it comes to his emotions, he's trying to really leave it in the past if possible, because he does know on some other level in his energy that he's getting set up for something. Part of him say, I know I'm getting set up to be put down for something. Well, listen here, I will tell you this. Always in life, in this way, sometimes you have to find yourself to go down to go back up. Think about it like a slingshot, like a boomerang. In order for me to propel you to go forward, you got to pull back. I always think about when I went to a reader, and a reader told me, say, you got to remember again, with my DM I was talking about, he said how males are, you know, when you're making step forward, you always lift that foot up off the ground to go back down. So again, sometimes you don't seem like you're going anywhere. It seems like something's suspended, but at the same time, when that happens, you know you're getting ready to make a step forward. Okay, so that's the same thing when you're walking, you know, that's again, you walk in, you got to lift up one foot to go down, you got to lift up the other foot to go down. So some of it seem like you're off the ground, you don't know where the heck you're going, but again, that's the symbolism that has to happen. Plus, they're saying spirit here in this energy, understanding that source is telling him very strongly, you got to become balanced. That's why I tell you, something about this emotional thing, something went into the past, it's like he wants to kind of like forget about it. It's like, I know it's a light, but and it's enlightenment. It's something that needs to be telling me. It's something that's got to be learned in my past for me. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to pay attention to it because the way she's got it is like this. But at the same time, it's like it helps me to propel me to where I am. So that way he's saying I'm not that out there as you all might want to portray me to be, or the way I'm presenting myself, but at the same time I understand, thank you, confirmation, but I do understand that it helps me, like the humble beginnings, he's saying something about him. That's me and the thing, somebody's humble beginnings. He wants to say something about it in the past how he was. He had some humble beginnings, might not had all the money. That might be a reason also he's saying as to why he is humping the way that he is now, in a hustling mode that he's in, and he understands that he really truly wants to know that unlike other people would like to forget the past, but he understands that there's enlightenment, there's knowledge from the past, and he really uses that as a tool or a Bible or a knowledge as into what's going on with him now. So he's not like other people that trashes that. He's not that, but I want to say that in my emotions I'm still linked to the past. I would say to you, kind of watch that as well, because you don't want to be too linked that you, again, it's like a person driving and you will not be able to move forward because you're looking through the rear view mirror. But it's good that you have that, but I just want you also not to get kind of like in the past so much about that, and not to glorify it, because I'm hearing singing now, glory days, dun, 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 glory days, okay, glory days, glory days, yeah. So you got that glory days thing, okay, but I don't want you to be days looking at it saying there's this glory at looking in the past, okay? So that's another thing that I feel with this one. He's talkative. He ain't no shutty. Well, I'm glad that you are probably, I wonder in real life, are you as talkative? Say no. Okay. All right. That's why I thought, okay. No. I heard her say that. Okay, so now, moving on. So we got this next one here. Okay, so what is it that right now, what are the things that you kind of like dealing with right now? Let's look and see some of in your actions. What's going on with you currently? Clear. Glory days. Glory days. That's a lot. That's too many. My people on here, they ain't gonna stay on no 2 hours. I ain't like divine clarity. She be on that 2 hours. She like, I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna get down to the bed. I'm gonna hang on in here 2 hours for y'all, cause I want y'all to really get to the nitty gritty. But she be going down to the finite. I had to give it to her. I had to give it to her. She goes to the finite, baby. She don't play it. She gives it to detail. And after that reading, if you still, and if that is you, although she do general readings and that's you, and you still questioning, I'm going to say something wrong with you. Because she knows she goes all the way to the finite on you. Right now, this is, I told you to watch this. I can feel this. In your emotions, he said, hold on. 2 ways. spilling over spilled cups. We got 4 cups, some things there, but not really seeing that that's the glory. I still say that you and I are going to buck against each other, Mr. Combs, because again, the thing is, I still say that you are over spilled milk. Okay, I still say that because again, you're not really in this 4 cups. It means you have a tendency not to look at and seeing what's behind you, what's the glory, what really truly is, that there's still hope. Keep hope alive, as Jesse Jackson says on this one. But he's saying that's also, he said, I'm not the only one. My divine feminine is feeling the same way too. Okay, so both of y'all is over some spilled milk as well. Okay, this is some third party energies here. We got third party here, so you showing me here. Whoever you messing with again in the home, they really is outraged about this thing where you are really in love with somebody else, Mr. Combs. So say it really is in love with somebody else. They got a broken, they feel like this person that you messing with feels like they are a broken vessel. Like, you know, they thought in some ways, I'm picking up, that you were going to be able to fulfill them. And now they's like, crack, now who wants me? Who gonna want me? I'm hearing the song. How you like me now? Like, who gonna want me? I don't think nobody gonna want me now. Like this. There's some things that's really truly that in y'all foundation is really in black and white about this. This is the person that you love, but you're trying to maybe meet with this person in secret. Okay. You know, this is really it, but the person knows. She knows. You feel like you're battling a lot of people, even in your light and your shadow. You got some wands here, so you feel in your actions, you feel very naked, very vulnerable too. At the same time, you might portray like you got it all in the bag of chips, but you are very vulnerable too. Again, we got the 5 of Wands. What's this doing in here? 5 of Wands is being presented here as well. And you feeling like both of you all have had to fight. Oh, I got to wipe this off. Both of you all have had to fight. You out here in the desert with nothing to kind of like really gain on or get some really acknowledgement as to where you are, as like location where you are in this whole scope of things as well. So this is in where you are in your actions right now. So dealing with the light and the shadow. Okay. Really in your shadow right there, you're very defensive when it comes to your shadow things. From your shadow things, you're defensive. In your light part there, you feel like, again, like you're not able to speak your divinity there. I'm looking at how it is. You're not able to. In your lightness, you feel like really your manhood and everything is just out there and show and tell, but really here in your shadow, you are hiding your I don't see the genitals that well. No, you're hiding that. You're hiding your identity of who you are, how you identify with. Okay, since we're talking about the shadows, let's go into that. You led me into that. What's going on with the shadows? I think I'm missing a card. I'm missing the little small cards. That's who I'm missing. Okay, where you at? Here we go. Ugh. Okay, I can put you over here in the meantime. So, the shadows that you are actually dealing with, clear. Is colorless angel. Okay, so really you acting like you all that in a bag of chips. However, at the same time, you feel like you don't have any power, especially in your emotions, but you want this freedom. But again, with you, what the problem is with you, Divine Masculine, Mr. Combs, is that you are you getting in rough waters, because that But okay. So you call him by the first name. Okay, so Mr. Combs, Mr. Sean, at the same time, what's going on here is that you have this freedom and you seem like you're not really acknowledging this. There is freedom in this emotions. There is freedom in knowing that you are much bigger than what you are. There is freedom understanding that you are really truly divine. You are an angel. A lot of people might have said that you've either on a job or your family said you've been a godsend. But at the same time, in being this, I'm picking up, you have felt also that you feel also, let's feel standing there. Okay, that you feel also that it has drained you, because I'm looking at her being drained. You know, all these resources and energies, they have drained you from doing that. Okay. What's going on with you this third? So there is another energy that's here presenting itself. So what's going on with this third energy? Clear. This lady back here smashing up stuff. I might have to get the karmic thing. She revealed herself. Most time I don't do that, but she revealed herself. So see what her issue is. Okay, you got the man in the pentacle. So right now you're mastering your emotions, but you are dealing with your money. You're dealing with your finances, how to be able to have that. You said at the beginning, you about the Benjamins, baby. You about making sure you got a good handle on this pentacles, because this pentacles ain't thinking about no leaving this at all. You go down the football field with that, the way you handling that, and like, But there is, I got fork in the road, there is a little light touch on it, but it's secure, but it's a little light touch to it too, as well. You're standing on the bridge, so some kind of way you're right there in the middle of the bridge. You're trying to make a bridge to kind of decide again, where are you crossing over? We got the number 11. That goes back to them saying that you got to find balance. I thought I felt movement. You have to do balance also going on with this as well. So in finding balance in this will help you also to hold your pentacles a little bit more secure. I feel like to be, when it comes to money, something that's a little loose there. I would like this top part to be a little bit more grip. I think you're more firmly at the bottom of it, more gripping it, but the top is not. Okay, and then also what we're talking about here is a lot of things going on around you that's going on with this karmic. This could symbolize also how you are with the karmic. First it was all about really about the sex, those things is nature, and then also understanding that you all had some good times. It was some good times had by you all sex, but still in the midst of it, in the center of it, is still your divine feminine is what you want. Okay, to you, pentacles, that is really your world. That really is your physical 3D world to you. Okay, so this is what is going on, but this is what happened behind the scenes. But it's like, again, you always showing me that the past, this is the past, but this to me, this is the now, and this is the future for me. Okay, another thing that we have here, I'm gonna look these two up because these is just nothing but scenes. Okay, here in water, and one wand here that's being shown here. So I do see that one wand here. Let me look up real quick. I've been looking for something. Ace, the starting point, creation, undertaking the still point, a beginning. So right, again, I know that you really truly do want to start a beginning. I see that represented here by standing on this bridge, to be you kind of like an in-between, a bridge to somewhere. It's not a bridge to nowhere, but it's a bridge right there that you're just standing right there. So that's definitely it. You want to be a beginning here, okay? They go a bridge there in the background too. So you got to really start from one part. It's traveling from one end to another, from where you are, point A to point B. All of these is bridges. Everything you got here, this is about the third bridge that showed itself here. So with you, you understand that you're crossing over into something else. Now, The point is, and this is 2 times you got you symbolizing in a bridge, and your thinking, you're in the middle of a bridge, and your emotions, you're in the middle of a bridge, and then you're thinking you're in the middle of a bridge. Okay? That's what it says there. So now let's look at this. This is, okay, what are you? It's not the Wands. Okay. Okay, this is the Moon. Yeah, the vision, romanticism, sentiment, illusion, enchantment, the attraction of the unknown. That's why I did say to the unknown. I did say that. I said, oh, I don't like saying that, but it is. It is the bridge of unknown, infatuation, dream, notes. A love which only lasts till dawn. You know they're really constant where you are right now. Is this where you at? Is currently is something that's only going to last temporarily. This situation that you're in, this DM knows this. Okay, this is why he's at the bridge, because it's almost like a person, like what they say, the walk of shame. I remember was in college, and I used to go hang out. That's me and my wilding out days. That's why I can understand this DM. And used to get stuck at certain places like early in the morning, and you had to have to walk of shame, because at the place where I used to live down in Atlanta, the temperature it'd be like really warm, but if you go out at night, that temperature will like majorly drop, and so then you have to have like your coat or something like that on. And sometimes when it majorly drop, I have on like a thicker coat. And so if I be stuck out there at a certain location and I got to work my way home, you know, I just have on still that coat. Everybody looking like, that don't match with the temperatures that we showing right now. Why you got that big ass coat on at this time? So, this is what I'm feeling like that. It's like right now, it's like, it's right here. If we stay out there, we're going to be soon be taking us to walk of shame. Because it's like, you still on this bridge? You still out here? Man, I thought you been and made you a decision by now. You still here? Oh, wow. So, you know, that's what came to me about that. Is this like really being in an environment where you don't belong, and knowing again it's temporary. And then again, when you walk out of that, I know this is getting deep, but again, when you walk out of that, it's like, okay, this person really feels like they're going to have to take a walk of shame after this, because once the scenery changes, the planetary shifts have happened, the moon is gone, the dawn is now coming, or the sun is coming out, and it's now a new day. It's like, okay, where you at in all of this? This is what I'm picking up for them. So this person knows that a new day is dawning. You're getting caught on the bridge, and so now it's either you gonna go back to where you came from, or you're going forward. He said, no, I'm going forward. So this is where we are. With this here, these actions that we are, woo-wee, on that, my booty sore. So right there. Oh, I wanted to see, I don't know, is she on top or down here at the bottom? Where's these karmic cards? Probably, I didn't know me, I done buried her all the way down. Sure did. She way down here. I won't be dealing with this crap. Here she is. Let me tap into this karmic. Who you be? Who you be? So she made herself known. What's going on with you? Mr. Sean, Mr. Puffy Combs, tell me. I think I seen one. Again, what is this person you dealing with? She got mad. We know that. Madness. She crazy as hell. She got a static ritual. She does something all the time, the same thing over and over again. And you can almost bet on it, the highs and lows. Say, here we go again. Let me strap myself in. Here we go again. She about to go crazy. Here we go again. She goes like in cycles. He said that he can kind of really can tell when she's about to go off. And then he has to brace himself and get ready for her to go through what she's going through. I've been there. I know how that is. When you're dealing with somebody that's in a distortion. You say, okay, here we go. Brace yourself. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. You said that to me before. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to do better. Okay, yeah, okay, you right. I ain't worth nothing. You right. Yeah, I ain't about nothing. Okay, I heard you. Or they going back and forth. It's the same old. I can hear Tupac say, all around the world, same song. Do do do. All around world, the same song. Do do do. It's just all around. It's the same song. Same song and dance all the time with this person. Energy release. A lot of times she does that to release energy. She wants to be like a person, seem like she's in charge. She's doing that. And it's this like a sort of show me like a pressure cooker up. I gotta get rid of all that stuff. This person here, so they got a bad temper. Their temperament is like that, energy release. And sometimes he's saying that she uses that and she uses me as a punching bag. In this. Right up in there. She uses me as a punching bag. You know. And I just try to sit there and just listen to her. I wish I could get this. I just sit there and I just listen to her. You know. And she just kind of, but these ecstatic things that she does here, it's ritual. It's like, you know, okay, round this, expect this, round time of month, expect her to be X, Y, and Z, round this time, you know, when the moon change, she gonna be like Michael Jackson. Doing something. So he's like, I'm kind of used to that. Okay. Which cards I want to talk about that. Okay. Shit part of him is like, that's enough. I know. It's getting me now. I got rid of my headache here. I feel like the headache coming back now. Dealing with that. Oh, this is my rebel deck. Okay, you can speak through this. What you really want to tell me how you really feel. These are my rebel decks. Clear. Tell me how you feel about this. Okay, this a lot that came out. Ooh wee. All right then. And this sound like a DM. Okay, let's see what you want to say. Tell me how you really feel. Give me this. This is good, baby. Y'all need to like, share, and subscribe, and spread this here. This reading. This is good. This is some good stuff. Talk about spilling as Ethereal Sorceress says 777 says spilling the tea. And we get nosy and we really getting into the soap opera, the whole thing, Kim. And the telenova. All right then. He said, I want shit to be different. Okay, tell me how you really feel. Okay, but we know Spirit say in order that to happen, you got to change first. Okay, say he asked himself. He asked himself all the time, do I really love them? Okay. I find myself saying, again, tell me how you really feel. I got to watch what I say. And so sometimes I feel like, hey, what I feel is, tell me what I really feel is to go all in or to say, or get the fuck out. Excuse me. I know I can't give me no sponsors on this today. I can't give me no sponsors with this. Okay, so this is the rebel back. Hold on a second. So it say, watch what you say. It say that mouth of yours could start some shit. This is a lot of time. This is how he really feels. He said he has to say that to himself because he knows his mouth. He said, do you really love them? So he said, then wash, fold, and put away the clothes. He knows that he's got to, do you really love them? So this goes, I got a fork in the road. One part of me believes that he's saying that, do I really love them? Is because he's saying, okay, if I do love them, I know I don't. So let me just go on through the motions. Just go through the motions of this. Another thing is, do I love them? He understands some things that he's got to, like you got my guy, Kitty Rogers, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. So it's a process to things. But he knows that some things got to get cleared and some things that's got to get cleansed, okay? And he knows he got to kind of, throw some things away. He said he wants shit to be different. He says he knows in order for him to do that, he got to change himself because he even see himself that how he is. How he can be a little kind of arrogant. How he understands about this money and how this blinded him from not getting really the simple things in life, which is truly things that truly should matter. He needs to get out of that space of this material thing. He also says he knows that right now, you know what, is he's put up or shut up. If this is what he's doing, then he's got to go all in. He got to go hard or go home. Okay, this been a saying been going around for a while here. And he said, or get the fuck out. Okay, either I'm gonna go all in with this. That's why I say this person, this DM here, Mr. Combs here, is like on the middle of the bridge here, and it's like, okay, you know, really, I've come too far to turn back now. If you didn't went this far, then you need to keep on going in the direction that you want to. This is a DM that needs to kind of a little bit like push that DM, this divine feminine, or his not counter, don't like it. I don't like that word. His divine partner has to be one who is productive or proactive. I like this. His proactive partner has got to be productive in understanding that she's got to do some things in order for them to create this push or this momentum for him to go on, like the laws of physics, some inertia. Okay, so in order for him to really get to the point where he say either I go all in, I get the fuck out. In order for him to do that, and he's like, and this is to be is like a person, like a pendulum. It can go either way. You want him to get to the point where he say get the fuck out. Okay, this way. So how you gonna do that? Again, you got to be proactive in your production or productiveness of how you're going to make this happen on your end. He says pack his bag. I already told you this one here had the bags packed. Say this how you really feel. Tell me how you really feel. Pack your bags. Get the hell out of town. It will make you both lovable again. I love it. So that right there is like be lovable. You'll be back in love. Not even on the other end with the divine counterpart. Within himself, I'll be lovable. I'll love myself. This is what he's saying. I will love myself again. And I will love both sides of me, the divine feminine and divine masculine. Because remember earlier there, it told him that he's got to find a balance to things. Okay? You got to find a balance to things. The yin and the yang. I'll start loving myself. I've even loved my feminine side and I love my masculine side. Right now, I'm ashamed. It's tough and it's hard. He's bringing it to me. It's tough and as hard as I am. Like he's got that Sean P. Diddy, Puffy Combs kind of like attitude there. But at the same time, he is soft. I think about Sean P. Diddy when he had went through Kim Porter and made his transition, and he just broke him all the way down. You know, I think it's because he broke him all the way down because it was the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. He knew that Kim, who knows that might have been his divine. My nose is, my heart chakra's been going on. Who knows if really Kim Porter might have really actually had been the one. She might have been his twin flame, but he didn't mess with so many other ones in between. Jennifer Lopez, Cassidy, a whole bunch of other slew full of other ones in between that he goes back and forth with. But he been hanging with Cassidy a little bit more longer than the rest of them. So who knows who she is. With that, and let's say she was really actually the soulmate or the higher functioning soulmate, or really his twin flame, that he's regretful because a lot of things that he had children by, that was wonderful, but she was asking for marriage and he never did make that possible or happen. On his end, that could be regretful, and that's why it probably broke him down really bad, because there's a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas. The dreams died with him, as Les Brown says. When you take your last breath, who's gonna be standing around you? You're gonna have broken down dreams standing around you and regrets as you're doing on your last one. So that is one thing that again that is really running through this divine masculine's mind now. It's like he's really thinking about this future, and then how, thank you, this future, and then how that's going to really also, I hear this word disappointment, although it said appointment, but disappointment of that. At the end of the day, the opportunities that were missed that he could have did, and he just settled for it. And he's saying within himself, he knows that he's bigger than that. He really could find his way on out of this, but some kind of way he has settled for where he is. Oh, I like that on that. I be have my own supply. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, y'all, whatever. I know Spirit is protecting me on that. Hidden gem. That's all I'm gonna say. This is a hidden gem. Okay, so you got this part right here. That's what, tell me how you really feel. That's a good one right there. And so next, let's look and see as far as, can I look, I'm gonna tap it to see what's actually going on in this home here. Where's my cards? Where are my cards at? Is this them? No, that is not that one. Here we go. And then we'll get into how he feels about that. Okay, so my cards tell you, clear. Paint the scene. What's going on with you, divine masculine? What's actually going on with you? So right now he knows he's a conflict here is right now is in his spirituality. Like, we're trying to win your soul back, sir. He knows the remediator plays a very big role. That would be the one you call is the karmic. Excuse me, he got to release her big time. The karmic, and or also would be the remediator, would be also the distorted partner. She plays a major role. She's not a supporting thing. She's a major role, according to him. And about this spirituality, where he's going to go. It helps to tug and to pull him in the direction that he actually needs to go. But he understands also the high priestess energy here, which will be the divine feminine, helps him to see some things that's unseen. But what I'm picking up from him is he's saying it's like both of them play a part. This divine masculine is smart enough that in some ways he's like, there is no mistakes. There are no mistakes. Things happens just. It is. It is what it is. But again, okay, with this divine masculine, he understands that it is what it is. Okay. I'm sorry, my thing cut out. Let me go up a little bit. Somebody keeps touching my arm. Like, I feel you. Like, tap, tap, excuse me. Okay. So, he's in his emotions. He's got a kind of like a thing here in his emotions. There's a lot of things going on. He's romantic. That might have been what led him on to this. But he's romantic because, again, romance also means that he's magical. He can manifest things. Real good on the manifestation. But in his emotions, he's trying to be content, have contentment. You're lying to yourself, right? I got you. Yeah, you are lying to yourself about what's going on, because you need to be really seeing this stuff for what it is. You trying to make it more magical than it is magically delicious, like it's some Lucky Charms. This ain't no Lucky Charms up in here, in this situation. Now with what you got dealing with there, again, wanting peace in his emotions, and he wants to be affectionate. Well, you can't be affectionate with that one, because that one look like she take it, you give her an inch, she take a mile, or she want it all the time, and she gonna really be draining you on that one. Okay, all right then. So let's look and see. I'll come back to that. You tell me what you want to do with your future things. It's at 40. I mean, I got 20 minutes left on this one. Clear. So tell me what's actually going on. Okay, you told me the overall thing. You feel like, again, you got your eyes on the prize. Okay. This speaks up. But again, she's the right here is a false person. I really want to say not even eyes on the prize. I think, to me, this person here is a trophy girlfriend or wife too. And that there helps to prepare this falseness or this false identity that you keep on finding yourself being linked to. Okay? She keeps fanning the flames. You keep on playing suave debonair in the whole situation. And there's a mask to it. What else is going on to the situation? But you know that the way you're acting and what she's acting is concerning you. I always feel when I look at that, it's aging you too. Probably if I would see you, not probably as young looking as you used to be. Somebody would say you got a little bit, because of COVID, like most of these men out here got a little bit more gray going on than the usual because of dealing with this person. You understand that, again, that your divine person has gotten a message of concern too. In your emotions, you've also gotten a message of concern about how things are going here. Okay? Because of this privileged lady. This privileged lady here is the karmic. Okay. This one is one that's putting all this extra show on, looking all cute and all this kind of extra stuff. That is the karmic there. She might think she's divine in her own right, but that is not it. That explains a lot why I'm saying that is not that privileged lady is not that. Privileged lady, to me, when you use that as you talk about the divine, privileged lady is like, I'm supposed to have this, being divine or being like this comes with its privileges. Like, again, it's privileges, and I don't mean I earned it. It's no work being done there. Being divine, there is some work that has to be done, okay? Because there's spiritual growth that has to go through there. That ain't something that this, again, you have it. But privilege there is a little bit different in this way, and the way she's showing off herself here, this is something else. Is because daddy had big bucks, and so of course that, since he's on the oil refinery down south here, that makes me to be the prize Southern belle of the South. Now that's privilege. That ain't got nothing to do with being no damn divine with that at all, okay? So I'm not in agreement with that usage is saying that card represents there as being the divine one. Privileges, it has privileges, it has a thing of you surpassing everything else. And because, and again, it's an air and it's a place of privilege comes with more of an ego than that, okay? Not saying that you were blessed with it. Not saying that, again, this is it. Just divine. You inherited it. Again, that's a different thing. Okay. This is interesting. She's got a 12 here because she's got to get herself in divine order about some things there. So that one is right there. She's the one that's causing the issues that's going on right there. She's the one that's causing, this privileged lady there is causing the issues there. It's concerning the divine masculine, and it's also concerning the divine feminine because of her actions. What else is it that you want to say? What else is it also that you want to bring to us as well? Look like I'm feeling the energies. Look like that's kind of really it. Okay. You're understanding that your main goal is to stay wealthy, a wealthy man. You understand it's time to make a withdrawal. I see the little time thing here. Time is a ticking. It is there. And you really are making your way to get on the true path of transformation, of metamorphosis. That was our word for the day with the kids, metamorphosis. They were talking about tadpoles, a frog, and a frog metamorphosis, and we were talking about also butterflies in our class. It was that. I'm going to come back to this, okay, and we're going to go to the other end of it where you're going to really now start talking about the connection that you have with the divine feminine, since she made her way on here. But I want to see again, so what is it, this divine masculine, what is your plan as far as getting out of this, what's happening with this persona here, this Kiki person? No pun intended to you, Kiki, that I have. He understands that right now it's the family dynamic. So right now we know, as all of us, right now I've got to heal from this family. This family is dynamic. That's how it's presented in the world. That's something he feels like he's got to deal with. He understands even in his emotions that he's lonely. He feels lonely. He might have this karmic here, as you all call it, this distorted partner here that's with him, and he still feels lonely. She still don't get him on all levels. He's still all about himself. He probably say, I'm feeling him say, I know her better than she knows me, because I have to learn her. Oh, I done turned it dark. Dang it. I have to learn her because of... Excuse me 1 second. Okay, when it goes, dislike when it does that. Thank you. I have to know her because of, her moods. This child is moody. This child is moody. She is moody. Okay, so she is quite moody. Okay. And that's something that he has to kind of deal with quite often about her. I want it a little closer, though. Sorry, I know it's that. Okay, you going that close? Okay, whatever. Okay, so that is something that he knows that he has to deal with her. So he studied her. I don't know if she studied him. She don't really give a damn. Really, I want to tap into her energy. So he's like, it ain't about you. It's about my show. It's about me. Okay, what else? He wants to find his passion back. He wants to become passionate. He's passionate about the divine feminine though. I can see, I feel in a little energy that he lights up when he think about her. It's like, I find passion right now. I just feel like I'm just kind of slowly dying on this here. So he knows, again, he's the lonely. He knows at the end, eventually, he's going to have to be like a hermit. He's going to, again, have to kind of pull out from the situation so he can really, truly become one and understand the world and his place and where he belongs and where he needs to go. He also is asking for justice in this situation too. He wants justice to come in, so the justice will be divine intervention. Divine intervention. That's why, well, join the club. He's just about just like every last other divine masculine wants that to do that. But again, like I said, you're going to have to be a little proactive, baby, about that, because you can't allow for you looking for source to come in there, especially when you want and he say he just want to be happy. He like, Mary J. Blige. All I really want is to be happy. Find a love that's mine. He will be so free. So that's what he wants. That's what he wants. Okay. Yes. So that is it on that one. Can you tell me about what's going on with how you feel about the divine feminine energy? What do you feel about the divine feminine energy here? Mr. Combs, clear. Mr. P. Diddy. I know you don't like it. I say, I do have a name. I know you do. There's one sister about that name there. Because he say, if I'm going to call him that, then stick with it. Okay. All right, Mr. Combs. Mr. Sean Combs. All right, there. So here we go. Here. There's a conflict. Okay. There's a conflict here as far as how he's going to go about getting this. He wants everything underneath the sun. He understands that, again, this is nostalgic. You see, elephant nostalgic. He's nostalgic about this past here. This is what I want to say, that conflict about the past, about how he thought things should have been. But again, like I said, what's great about this DM here is that he doesn't take, as Daniellleboomlle said, he doesn't take L's. Okay, he say ain't no losers on here. There's nothing but lessons. I'm learning lessons from this thing. That's works in it. It's a level of maturity, like underline is going on right underneath that surface with this one right here. He's like, oh, okay. So he knows that he wants to really have the divine feminine to remain open to the connection here. He wants both of them truly embraced and holding on to each other. He wants her really flexible because he got that leg cocked right on open so he can get access. Really there. He's in, who got the yellow on? No, somebody got yellow. Hold on a second. There's too many legs on here. Well, how many legs this homie got here? Hold on a second. You got an arm around her. Okay, that's her arm. He got his leg cocked up with a yellow arm. So, look like to me in some ways like one part, or maybe not. She don't have that. That's her veil, and that's his foot up there. I'm sorry. Forgive me. He's like, look at it again. Okay, so yeah. So she's got this yellow veil on again. So she's really in understanding of identity of who she is. He knows that he too has to work on his connection, making healthy connections, and also, in the healthy connections, also being able to manifest things. That's really highly on his mind. And just like with her, she's got green on, which is staying in her heart center, but then also being able to know who she is as she's staying in her heart as well. But it's nostalgic, it's a lot of things in the past that he hangs on to. I'm feeling him saying it's a little regret there. I'm feeling him saying again, but he also says, again, I've learned from that. I take that on as a lesson learned as well. He knows that also at the end of the day, when I see this, there is no connection, but it's understanding there's true intimacy with him saying, I got your back. He does understand that he does look to the divine feminine to nurture him. He knows that he's got to communicate that. The way he communicates that is really heavily on his mind. She knows staying in her heart center with him is heavily on her mind as well. She understands also knowing her identity of loving self, because she got a breast covered up by the thing. Is also something that she's got to hold to, and he's got to be a little bit more grounded and rooted too, because I don't know what it is, who's wearing the red here, but she not wearing it, so it's got to be him. Got to be grounded and rooted in some things. That's what's going on with him, because we got this illusion here again, and that's something. They go to moon one more time. That moon, it came back out again, because that moon card came over here, and hold on a second, that moon came out in the one of these cards. Was it? I can see it. I can see it. One of these cards, the moon came out. This is the second time it came out. Anyway, it's here. You know, he came out before. So we got to kind of really get a handle on that energy about these illusions, and this really understand you got to release some things. Let's see. That's how he feels about the connection. What do you feel that some actions that you want to take towards the divine feminine? 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes does fresh you on. We got the star card. Okay, so we got the star card here, which has got her like spread an eagle. So is again, lady said spread eagle, like she wants her to be open to this, to receive. He wants to be the one who's really in control of how this is going, the hopes and wishes of them actually coming together. She's open to it. It's like, take me, daddy, yes. And so that's it. That's the position of it. And so he's on top of her, light and shadow, which is to me representing like yin and yang, peanut butter and jelly. You know, we in it to win it. We are a perfect balanced match. This is actually where he wants to be there. You got the star card there. Also representing as far as, did I bring that out there too? What are some actions that, again, clear? I pulled out all of them, non-stops. Okay, here we go. All right, then. Chakra, 9 of Pentacles. Look like to me he really wants to, for the divine feminine here, again, to put you to bed, like knock you out. Mom said knock you out. And it ain't from me hitting you. It's from me actually, I done put it on you. And I done knocked you out. But you still got your mask on. So he understands again with the divine feminine thing. She might have a mask on still. Somebody says she might have a mask on and not really masking her emotions. But he like, you know, she might be trying to hide like, yeah, you ain't did nothing. You did a little something. You know, you ain't put it on me that tough. He's like, So again, that's what he's saying about the love and bringing on. He knows it's something that's going to be still a little mask from it, but at the same time, you had ecstasy. It kind of reminded me of that scene from Gone with the Wind, and her and Brett Butler had went on here and had sex, and the next morning, you know, she always acting like it wasn't nothing. Like, nah, leave me. Like, I'm going to have you tonight. So he went on and had sex with the show, the scene the next morning. She's singing, da da dee, da 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 da. And she's always in the afterglow, like, ooh. She in glee. He done put it on her behind, and you know, next minute she up there acting like she can't stand him as usual and all that stuff. But you know, this is what they know that mommy. This is Saint is that too right there. So he like, yeah, but he know that she gonna be playing kind of hard to get. Let's put that. I heard him say get down to the nitty gritty, which is I know she gonna be playing hard to get. But I know I didn't put it on her, so I ain't even worried about it, because I could tell. I'm like, oh, okay, excuse me, daddy. I could tell when I didn't put the work in, so she can play like I ain't did nothing, but I could tell. I'm like, okie dokie. I ain't gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with her, and she can lie, but the body ain't gonna lie. It's gonna let me know that I'm doing everything that she wants. All right then. So right now he knows again here in this here we got here is again the heart. Like I said, he feels like he's gonna have to break the divine feminine kind of down some, cause he know it's gonna be a fight there. Well, hey, hey, you went into that situation. She ain't gonna go down willingly. She gotta remember that's your counterpart. You kind of tough cookie, and you gonna expect her to be tough in return. She ain't gonna go down lightly like that. I don't know how you think that's going on. He understands again that the Queen of Swords energy too as well. Kind of putting on the act. This person, this is the fan. She knows that really in some ways that this person that he's actually with is idolizing him to a certain point, although she is acting all crazy like that with him. And he knows that his sword of truth, what he's got to really come and bring to the table in all of this is that it's a man that he actually wants to be as well. And so okay, that's good. But he knows in this situation, sticking with this person here, he's a pin cushion. And the rest of that, he's got a black candle there. So really, in some ways, I think about that, the negativity trying to burn and say this got to go back to sender. What's actually going on with this person? I can't stand this lightning. Ugh. And this just get darker and darker. Okay, it ain't gonna get any better. I should have messed with you. Okay, so why are you acting crazy? Okay. Anyway, and so understanding you about to slide too. I see you on the move. I think this gonna stop you though. Okay. And so really understanding that the pin cushion, and I'm seeing like a bell here too, which is interesting. I don't know why I'm picking up saying school is out. It's over. Okay. So this is where we at. This school is out. Okay. It's like hit the bell, clack me out, I'm out. He understands also when you talk about the divine feminine, she's got these boots is made for walking. And he's like, he looking, part of him is scared that like when they do have the moment there, she might jump on up and say, I'm gone. He's like, where you going? And like, we just did this and that and you gone out the door and what's going on? He ain't understanding this. So this is where he is at too as well. So the flames is fine. So a part of him is scared that that's going to also transpire between him and the divine feminine, that she's going to be wanting to walk afterwards. She got one boot on and one boot out, and that one boot off. And this is one of the things that he really fears about coming to the divine feminine, because he knows a lot of things that he's done. Hey, granted, that would be the natural thing to happen next, okay? All right, then. So let's give some things. Let me look at this. I'm getting this here. What is something that will be a push? Who's going to be the active thing, the catalyst to really make this get to moving in the direction that it needs to go? Ain't seen these cards in a minute. Let's see. Clear. Whoa, okay, right on out. He is. It's the king. Martin. I'm the man. Do. What's up? Okay, so Mr. What's up there? Because he got to know what's up. What's actually up. What's actually up. So he knows he's got to know what's up. I see a number 42 here. Oh, interesting. 42, really getting grounded and centered. 2 is coming into unity. Together is in love. 42, interesting. Okay, so this is what he's got. He's the catalyst. He's got to be the one. He's the main character that's going to get things moving. Is you. Is you, divine masculine. Okay, all right. So that's what's up. Okay, like they say, that's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. You got to get to moving. Okay, what is some advice at the end of the day for this one? Okay, let's do it two ways. What's the advice for him? And what's the advice for his divine feminine? Okay. New beginnings and opportunities. I thought this came out for the divine masculine before. And serendipity. Again, just allow for spirit to bring the thing. This divine masculine has been saying that for a long time. You know, he said that he's got to really allow for spirit to make things happen. He's asked for divine intervention. My thing is, again, faith without works is dead. Do make sure that at all times that you are putting forth some type of effort to let the universe know, hey, I want change. Okay, not to be sitting there and not to be proactive. My whole thing is make sure you're doing some form of proactiveness and that will produce some productivity in your work that will create a manifestation. Okay, so this is it about the serendipity. That's fine with all together, but it's not. I don't want you to kind of sit back and just like relax and then like, okay, hand it to me. Then you going back to me to that privileged lady, back to the karmic energy, and that's what put y'all together in the first place, because you want everything to be handed to you in a silver platter like it's supposed to be. That's what another thing about privilege is to be. It's supposed to be that way. No, if you really divine, you know you're supposed to, but you understand you got to put forth some work too. That's why that doesn't work. Okay, and then for the divine feminine here, the divine feminine energies here, they say just keep on transforming yourself. Relax, let the transformation happen. You know, again, maybe you might want to get some rose quartz or something like that as well. But it looks like to be is, again, disallow the natural energies. They help to transform you because he's transforming, so you need to be transforming as well. Okay, and then also at the end of the day, again, what are some things to help you to stay in the flow for the divine masculine while you're in this situation? What things that he wants you to stay in the flow? I think about that's what Dad say. You know, we just got to go with the flow. So what is it that we have to do? The divine masculine has to do in order to keep stay in the flow. He has to do the following, which is recognition. That's what it said. Recognize where you are. Recognize where you came from, but recognize where you need to go and really actually see some things. Let's not get it to the point that you are painted with rose-colored glasses too. Okay, recognize from where you have been, recognize where you're growing, and recognize where you want to actually find yourself going to. Okay, that's recognition. Recognize who you actually are. Recognize what you are supposed to be doing. Recognizing that where you are is beneath you. For the divine feminine, is miracles. Okay, help you to stay in the flow of things. Just let things flow as far as in the miracles of things. Okay. That is the advice for you. Haven't done one of these in a long time. I'm definitely putting this down as a must-see, a must-read about this one, because this may or may not be your person. So I thank you so very much for the DM, Mr. Sean P. Diddy Combs. He probably say, I ain't come there for that. He came in for the reading and they helped us with this here. Gave us much advice about that. He said, I'm working on it. I'm on my way. Might be, again, I move at night. I'm like a turtle. I move meticulously and calculated. That's what he said. That's how I move. So, again, just, again, keep hope alive with this one. Keep hope alive with this one, he said. But, again, he's meticulous and he's calculated. That's what he says. And I just got to come to the realization that the same energy that I use in order to get into this situation is the same energy that I got to use to get out. But again, at the end of the day, when I look at it, he said, I'm not going to look at it from a point of saying that I had actually had lost. Although I'm going to be losing some things in this situation. He said, don't get it twisted. But at the same time, at the end of the day, if I know that I'm doing this to really gain true love, at the end of the day, it's going to be well worth it. And I'll recover. You know, my 3D self might be crying about it, but at the end of the day, You know, here's that moon. I was looking for the daggone moon card. There it is again. There it is. The moon. 2 times moon. Okay. Same numbers, the moon. Understanding that, you know, some things has got to move the illusion. That's why I said about recognition. You got to actually recognize. You can't fix nothing if you're not recognizing what's actually things for what they are. If you calling them something else and they're not that, that's no way you can be able to fix that. That's that gave me that. It says no way you can fix that unless you really recognize and call things the way they are. You got to do that first. Then you can move in to use all that affirmative and positivity-ness and that, you know, this is, I call this good and very good. But the first thing you got to do is recognize it for what it is. Then you can be able to move on from there and then move it from there and change it into something else. But you got to call it for what it is. Okay. That's an interesting concept. I never thought of it like that. Okay. All right. As I'm trying to talk and see if there's anything else, because I feel like he's kind of lingering around like he wants to say some more. As I'm winding down. Is there anything else? Anything else that you actually want to say? Is there anything else that you actually want to say? Look like saying, no, he's looking up at the sky. He's looking. I don't know, a second. You keep on, I'm just going to put the cards up, and if something hits you, let me know. Something. Not rushing you. We got time, unless you're going to give us something golden. A golden nugget. He's smiling. Say, should I give him a golden nugget? Yeah. It's up to you about that. Say it's going to happen when you least expect it. I don't know. Somebody must have asked that question. They say it's going to happen when you least expect it. Okay. I thought I was finished. Nope. It's going to happen when you least expect it. It's going to happen when you least expect it. Yep. That's what it is. Wants to kind of like present a wand. This one, like that card that I seen it before. They've got the wand that's happening behind the person's back, and that's what they want. Yeah, that wand happens behind the person's back, and he's got the wand, and she's not looking at. She paying attention to him, but she ain't looking at him at all to see what's going on. Okie dokie. Well, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Very welcome. Very welcome. You said thank you for taking time and letting my voice be heard. You're very welcome on that any way that I can be able to help or be of a service to you. You know, to get an idea for others to understand really what the Divine Masculine is going through. I'm always here for that, to help you all guys out with that. You know, I just got to make sure a lot of people be able to out there to be really heard your true voice, and not people kind of, you know, putting you all in bad light like that. I mean, you know, you all have your days, and you've done some things, but at the end of the day, at the core of it, you all are not really bad guys. I don't care how they try to chop you off. As if anybody would be hurt or be in a position like that. You have a tendency to show and express themselves just the way like how you all did. You know. I like these cards. These really spoke your voice. I tell you. I would see if I use them again. All right then. As always, that is the end of that. As always, let me get off here before this thing shut me down again. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay steady, stay, go. Love you.